Hello card fighters, how are we doing? We're back today, VGCSE, with another deck profile. It's Callum today, and today I'm bringing you my updated Scharhrot deck. So it's now near enough fully complete. I'm only missing a couple of units, but I'm waiting for them to come in stock. But they're mainly for my Stride and Grade 3s mainly. So without further ado, I'm going to start with my Stride units. So first off, I am using one copy of the One Steeped in Sin Scharhrot. And of course, it's how they say it in the anime, so okay. As you can tell, it's the SGR, nice and shiny. So basically, it's skill. We all know how Stride works. Both teams are on grade 3. You can Stride. So skill GB2 Darkness Counterblast 1. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, if you have 15 or more cards in the soul, it gets 10k power. And your opponent, you put all cards into the soul from your side. Your opponent retires the entire board, retires all its rear guards, and your opponent cannot use sentinels to guard. So I tend to use this mainly as an end game finisher because of it. Even though my opponent has to drop more hand. So I'm running one copy of that. Next, I'm using a GB8 card, which is the Casket of Absolute Zero, Rutland Betray for the Dark Irregulars clan. Skill is GB8. All of your units in the front row get 13k and 1 critical for every 13 or more cards in the soul. Which, to be honest, is a high risk because if you get 26 cards in the soul, that's half your deck gone. So it's a bit of a gamble. Again, that would probably be an end game finisher as well for high power output. So I'm only running one copy of that. I'm running one copy of Darkness Unleashed Freyheat. Its skill is Darkness. When this unit attacks, you soul charge 2. If you do, choose one of your units for every 4 cards in your soul, and they get 5k power until the end of the turn. If the number of cards in your soul is 13 or more, choose up to 4 cards from your soul with different grades, return them to your deck, shuffle it. And this unit gets 5k for each card returned, so you could do basically a 0, 1, 2, 3, which you're going to guarantee to get with the Dark Irregular Soul Charge skill. You've got a high chance, really, especially if you've done 2 grade 3 rides before you striding into this. So it's good for mid-game push, to fill power up on the board and keep your deck from in quantity. Next we have Rebellious Retainer of Fresh Blood Frederick. I tend to either use this as my first second stride, depending how the game goes. So its skill is basically choose a card from your hand, put it into your soul, and this unit gets 1000 power for every card in the soul. If you get over 10 cards in the soul, it gets 10k power, plus it gives 5k to your entire front row. So if you've got a really good board and the front row filled up, he's good to use because he'll give them an extra 5k, but you can only use the skill once per turn kind of thing. It's an act skill, so you can't really go crazy with it. Then I have the Mask of Demonic Frenzy, Iroquois. Sorry if I said that wrong. I'm not used to saying these names. So I normally tend to use him instead of Frederick because of its skill, which is Darkness. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, if you soul charge 2, when this unit hits a Vanguard, your opponent chooses a unit to retire. If you have 13, I believe it is. 15 or more, it gets 1k power for every card in the soul.
Don't you have a second copy in your hand so you can
No.
just read it?
No, because I decided not to run 2 copies. Because I want to run 2 copies of the one who splits Darkness, Blade of Mouse. Because it's a really good stride unit to have. Hey, it gets a restand skill. How can you not want it? Next are my G Guardians. I'm running one Medical Studies of Extinction Vincent. So its skill is GB1 and choose a face down G Guardian from your G zone and turn it face up. Ooh, not face down. When this unit is placed on Guardian, If you do, soul charge 1, and this unit gets 5k in that battle for every 5 cards in your soul. So I tend to use him later in the game because I'd have more soul built, which means I have to make my opponent try and get at least 3 triggers just to break through. Which Jason has pulled off, and that's him laughing in the background. Next G-Guardian is Cryptid Knowledge Sabnat. And its skill is Counterblast 1 when this unit is placed on Guardian Circle. During the battle that your opponent's Vanguard attacked, if the number of cards is 10 or more, you may pay the cost if you do. This unit gets 5k to the shield, but as well it gives you a 5k power to the Vanguard. So it could potentially be a, what, 20...
Your Vanguard
36?
Your Vanguard will be 16 and then plus 15.
No, that'll be 20. So... A 36,
a
a 36, which is a good starting point anyway, because you're depending on the skills of your opponent.
If you're playing retro, all your triggers will be 5k. But if you're saying standard premium, then depending how if it's force, if they're using force 1, then they might need only 1 or 2 triggers. But if it's retro, that's a no pass.
I'm running 2 copies of Nightmare Gentleman Saint Germain. So basically, its skill is when this unit is placed on Guardian, if the number of cards in your soul is 10 or more, it gets 10k to the shield, and until the end of that battle, if the number of cards is 15 or more, choose any number of your units until they turn, they get continuous. On the Vanguard, Rearguard, and Guardian, they get resist. So you could choose your entire board, and they all get resist. So that's why I run 2 copies. I also have Accumulated Attachment, Judge Nasu, and it's got 2 skills. So its skills, first one is the Continuous Guardian. If the number of souls is 8 or more, it gets 10k to the shield, which is good for, to be honest, it's a mid, Jace, would you say earlier, or a mid guard usable, because it only needs 8 for a 10k shield.
You can just how you want to play it.
Its second skill is when placed on the Guardian, choose up to 1 grade 1 or greater rear guards with the Darkness ability, put into your soul and draw a card. So not only are you using it for guarding your opponent's attack, it also gives you draw power as well. So that's why what I like about that. It means you're also getting guard material ready for the next attack. And I've running 1 Force Dark Wings Agrat Bat Malat, either as a beginning guard cost or to use for Vincent's skill. It's good for early soul charge rush if you need to. Otherwise, it's just there for Vincent's skill, really. That's the only reason I've got it.
If you have a worse hand and you need to build the soul, then use her.
Yeah, pretty much. And last but not least, it's a last stride unit. It is a Progenitor Dragon, and it's the Progenitor Dragon for Dark Nation. Dark Zone, sorry. And it's Progenitor Dragon of Gloomy Dark Formido. So its skill is that you have to stride the exact same card as your Vanguard. So in my case, I use Scharhrot Vampire. So depending on what copy of Scharhrot I have as my Vanguard, I have to make sure I discard the exact same copy. So in theory, it works the same as the Xerath Dragons in terms of striding it.
It's a fake Xerath Dragon card.
It's pretty much like the good version of Xerath, so I'd really say how I say it. Its skill is basically your opponent, Cannablast 1. Yeah, Cannablast 1. And your opponent has to retire rear guards as the same amount as open rear guards on your side. Then, if your opponent had retired 3 units, soul charge 5 and draw 1 card. So, in real terms, I actually don't use his skill.
Because I'm the one who pointed it out. Because I said, when we were playing, Callum was debating, do he want to use his skill? I said, Callum, look, I have 0 rear guards on me right now.
Yeah, so it was kind of pointless for me to use it. But in terms, it depends. I'd really say with that skill, it depends who you're playing and what clan.
If it's Neo Nectar, then yeah.
Neo Nectar, yeah.
If you're guessing Maiden Trail and Rose with the stride card, I don't know the name, but it spams the
I know
the tokens, and then each token that you retire, you get to call the number of units on your rearguard circle, but they can swing like really high numbers. So he's all right against it, but you have to go second to.
Yeah. But the perk of the Progenitor Dragons is that once you've strided it, it has a G-zone skill of basically you can stride without a cost. Basically, so you don't have to keep discarding either your stride fodder cards or keep having to discard grade 3s or up to grade 3s to use it. When if you have a Progenitor Dragon, you can just say, right, I'm using the Progenitor Dragon's G-zone skill and stride without a cost.
So simple term, you can just say, use a skill from my face-up G-zone because your Progenitor Dragon is because the fact that later down the game, you won't have that hand to guard, so Progenitor is there basically helping you not dropping any cost to stride.
So now that my stride units are done, we're moving on to my grade 3s. So to start with, I'm running 3, the one who proceeds towards Daybreak, Scharhrot. Basically, its stride skill is Soul Charge 2. Get a copy for me to read again. When you stride, you say Soul Charge 2. If you do, choose a card with a Darkness ability from your soul, put it into your hand and choose the one hand and put one card from your hand into your soul. So he's good if you soul charge the card that you desperately need into the soul. So in my case, it would be grade 1 Serpent Charmer. Or you need another one for a combo. If you know you soul charge, it's got Darkness ability. Scharhrot Stride skill is the best one to use to get it back. And if you've got a card that you think, I don't need it in my hand, you can just place it in there. So that's why I'm running 3 copies, because of its skill. And then its main skill of Darkness is that choose one of your grade 1 or greater rear guards, put it into your soul. At the end of your turn, you may pay the cost. If you do, your opponent chooses one of his or her rear guards, retire it. If the number of cards in your soul is 8 or more, you can countercharge. So he's a countercharger, which for me, it works. Because if I'm playing the other versions of Scharhrot, they require counterblast. So he's good for keeping my countercharges going. So that's why I run 3 copies of that. So that's him. Moving on, I've got 4 copies of Scharhrot Vampire, which I will be changing it to eventually because I want to get the other version of Scharhrot for the one who scatters sin. Just to completely mess with my opponent's head because I'll have 3 different versions of Scharhrot. But this Scharhrot skill is when it strides, Counterblast 1, your opponent chooses one of his or her rear guards and retires it. Sorry, bear with me. By soul charging 2 and Counterblast 1. Skill Vanguard will get when this unit attacks a Vanguard. If the number of cards in your soul is 6 or more, your opponent chooses one of his or her rear guards and retires it. And its own skill is GB2, Darkness. If you have, during your turn, if the cards in your soul is 6 or more, this unit gets 10k power. Then if you have 10 or more, it gets 1 crit. So in theory, that could be matching, that could be hitting a good power if you can't stride just by using its GB2 skill, giving you an extra 10k power and a crit, which means your opponent would have to drop more if you're playing in a retro fight compared to standard premium, which for this deck, it's retro premium, basically, because that's what I like about this deck and that's what I wanted it for. I will be making a standard premium eventually, maybe going for Dragonic Vanquisher. Last ones are my grade 3s. I am running 2 copies of Vashung Vampire. So basically, its continuous skill is for Vanguard, Rearguard, and Guardian Circle. It's GB1 Darkness. If the number of cards in your soul is 4 or more, this unit gets 2k power, 5k shield, and intercept. Then if your Vanguard has a Darkness ability, the number of cards in your soul is 8 or more, add 5k to the shield. So basically, it's a 12k attacker with a 10k shield and the ability to intercept. That's what I like about him, and that's why I'm running 2 copies. So I not to have as ride material, but for rear guard support and guard material, which is one thing I really liked about it when I saw it come out in the sets. So that's my grade 3s done with. Next, we'll be moving on to my grade 2s. Stop blaring, Jason. So for grade 2s, I am running 4 Succubus of Jealousy. So basically, its skill is when placed on rearguard circle, check the top 5 cards and place card with Darkness ability into the soul. If you put 2 grade 1 or grade cards with Darkness ability from among them into your soul, and then basically Generation Break 1 Darkness, it gets 2k power, basically being a grade 2 with 11k continuously, which is perfect. And to be honest, yeah, so always when you soul charge, it'll always become 11k, which is what I like about it. And you can put all the Darkness cards into your soul ready. Next, I'm running 4 copies of Brennan Vampire. Skill is basically on rearguard, Darkness, GB1, Counterblast. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, if you have a Vanguard with Scharhrot in its card name, it gets 1k for every card in the soul. Then once the battle's over, it'll go into the soul and you get to draw a freebie card, which is good because if you're playing later in the game, he can hit high powers. So he's a good rearguard supporter. Unless, like Jason, who decides to get rid of it the minute he sees it. Yeah, you get rid of that the minute you see it.
Yeah, I kill it.
You don't like it. And then I'm running, finally, 3 Doppel Vampire. So basically, it's Generation Break 1 Darkness. If I have 6 or more... When this unit attacks the Vanguard, if I have 6 or more cards in the soul, it gets 5k power. And if the number of cards is 15 or more, my opponent cannot guard with grade 0s from Hand Guardian. So that stops them from using triggers, and basically it means they have to keep dropping more grade 1s and grade 2 5k shields to just try and guard, which is what I like about it, and that's why I run only 3, because I'm mainly focusing with Brennan and Succubus of Jealousy for more attack power, but I've got a good defender if needed be. So now moving on to my grade 1s, I'm running 2 Stride Fighter cards, which is the Succubus of Pure Love. Only because if I have 1 copy of Scharhrot in my hand and I'm going second and I need that other copy, I can place Succubus of Pure Love on the rearguard circle, and then its skill activates where I reveal a Scharhrot, reveal a grade 3 from my hand, and then search my deck for a Scharhrot and add it to hand basically. And it is also my Stride Fighter card, so if I can't do the stride I need to get my Progenitor Dragon, I can just use Succubus Pure Love to stride for pretty much itself. That's why I run only 2 copies, because I'm mainly hoping to try and do a Progenitor Dragon stride for the first. Then I'm running 3 Serpent Charmers. So reason I'm running 3 Serpent Charmers is because its skill is Darkness. If I have 10 or more cards in the soul, it gets 2k power, so it's a 9k booster. Or... pretty much. And its rearguard, it's got another skill. If I have 13 or more cards in the soul, I can... No, wait, is it 13 or 15? Sorry. This is
13.
13 cards from the soul. I can return the rest, choose 13 cards from your soul. So if I have over 13 cards from soul, I can retire this unit and select up to 13 cards from my soul, put it back into my deck. So it's a good way for me to not deck out, which I have done countless times with this deck. Until
I remember first time you would have 1 copy now.
Yeah, and
you accidentally soul charged it.
Or Jason killed it.
And it's fine.
Either in the damage zone or in the drop zone. That's why I run 3, so I've got a good chance to get it. But it means I've got a good chance of having one in my hand ready for late game to prevent me from decking out. But it's also a good booster if needed be. Then I'm running 2 Listig Vampires. Yes, I know it's not got a Darkness skill, but it has got the ability to work with Darkness ability cards, where choose a card from GB1, choose a card from your hand, and put it into your soul. When this unit is placed on Guardian, if I have a Vanguard with a Darkness ability, you may pay the cost. If I do, I can choose a normal unit from my soul and add it to hand. So it's good for me getting back more guard material. So if I'm going to use it again, I think, right, this card in my hand I'm going to use to put it in the soul, I can get it straight away back because of Listig's skill if it's a normal unit. That's why I run 2. Then I am running 3 Doreen the Thrusters, mainly for high power boosting for late game, because it gets 3k power for every soul charge, and it can stack. Jason's V Series one, I've had it. What have you had it up to, Jace, on your V Series, Doreen? Oh, you had a high number on it, haven't you?
Maximum number with Brufus and Brufus with no life death king. I got up to 36.
Bloody hell. So now my PGs, I have two separate PGs. So the first one is Flag Breaker. I only running 2 copies. So skill is if there's a Flag Breaker in the drop zone, I get to counter charge. Self-explanatory, standard, drop a card for Sentinels. The second one is Closet Balloon. Here we go. Closet Balloon. And has a darkness skill of GB1. If the number of soul is 6 or more, it gets 2k power, being an 8k booster. So it's always there as a backup if I need to use a booster, and that's the only grade 1 I have as a support. So that's that. Now moving on to my grade 0s. I'm running currently 1 Werkai's Recrut. Can't say these dark names. It is going to be 4 because I want to try and change my trigger lineups because my trigger lineup's rubbish. Thanks to Jason.
3 or 4.
Yeah. So its skill is Vanguard and Rearguard and Guardian, GB1 Darkness. If the number of cards in your soul is 10 or more, it gets 5k power and 5k to the shield, making it a 15k shield, which is really good. And then its secondary skill is on the Guardian. If the attack did not hit when you use this card to guard, instead of discarding it to the drop zone, it goes into your soul, which is really good because, again, it keeps your soul going and building up. Then I am running 4 Nightmare, Dark Knight of Nightmareland. Just
so basically crit triggers.
4 crits. I don't actually use this skill to give Vanguard power, any unit powers, because it'll either be soul charged or guard material. So that's that. Running 4 Werewolf Angry Foe, another 4 crits. At the minute, this deck is solely based on crits.
Because he has 10 crits.
I am running, yes, 10 crits. And the last 2 are Weretiger Fanatica. However, like me and Jason have just said, it's going to be changed, so...
I say you should... So these guys will be changing to draw the stand triggers.
Yeah, and maybe one of the others.
Nah, you only need 3 stand triggers. You should really keep the crits. Like,
yeah.
8 crits is fine.
Then I'm running 4 Emotional Succubus because I don't really want to use the Nightmare Land ones because they work better for a Nightmare Land deck, like a regular setup. So I've just gone with the Emotional Succubus as a change of pace.
By following the anime.
Yeah, pretty much. Now, the next grade 0 I'm going to show you isn't actually my starter. I have got 2 Forerunners in this. Sometimes I might change. It depends how I'm feeling in the play, if it works or not. So this is just a support unit I've got, which is the Deranged Singular. Has a darkness skill. When this unit boosts, this unit gets 2k until the end of that battle. And then skill on the rearguard. When you strike, get this unit and all of your grade 1 or greater rearguards into your soul and draw 2 cards. So again, you've got draw power and a good booster. So now is my main ride unit, which is Waxstrom.
Basically your
starter unit, which is Waxstrom Vampire. Again, it's a Forerunner, and its darkness skill is Counterblast 1. Put this unit into your soul, and choose one of your other rear guards and retire it, and then choose up to 2 grade 1 or greater cards with the darkness ability from your soul, and put them into your hand. So that's good for fetching if, for example, if I don't have a Magenta Dragon out, I can get Succubus of Pure Love back if it's soul charged, or I could get Serpent Charmer back, or any of the ones I want. Or I can get Brennan back or any of the others, because it doesn't really state how high I can go, so I can even fetch a grade 3 back if I really wanted to. So it's good for that late game if no one retires it, like Jason did one game and I absolutely cried. Yes, so that's pretty much my deck setup. I do hope that you enjoy this video. It is a better video than I did for when I first started it, because I was told that it was really bad on the quality, but that was because I was doing it by hand, where now we've got a tripod. I am hopefully going to be doing hopefully doing another upload this weekend, because we're off to Tabletop Tyrant in Leicester on Sunday, and I'm hoping to buy a box. At the minute, it's between Aerial Steed Liberation, Phantasmal Steed Restoration, or In for Deity Cradle.
So basically what I'm trying to say is, this is my own point of view, because Callum really like to play his Gauntlet Buster Dragon, but he only has two copies. I'd just say, why don't you just go into Aerial Steed and just complete your Gauntlet Buster Dragon set, and then go into Phantasmal Restoration and complete your Lukier.
But as I said, I have to see what's there because the guy decides to be lazy and not bring out everything.
That's why I just said just try and look for it online.
Yeah, so we're going to see what we can get. But we will bring you an unboxing video hopefully this weekend, either at the shop or back at one of our houses.
Or if not, I do a Tsukuyomi deck profile.
Yes, and his Tsukuyomis is an absolute pain to deal with.
I can show you 2 versions of Tsukuyomi.
So, on that note, I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We are hoping to get our Dimension Police deck from Reese getting his DP deck soon. It is on its way, but at the minute we don't know what's happened with it. We're not sure if it's lost in the mail or what. He is chasing it up as we speak. So we will keep an eye out for that, and we will be doing the match that has been requested by some of our viewers.
That's very, very long time ago.
It wasn't that long ago. It was only a couple of months ago.
2 months?
About 4.
This
has been going for a while, Jace.
Around about that then.
So we hope you enjoy the video. Let us know how we're getting on, what you think, what you want from us. And we'll see you real soon. Bye.
Bye.